Hey guys, in this tutorial, I'll show you one suggested strategy. It might work for your publisher, it might not. So at the end of the day, it's up for you to monitor what works for your publisher and decide whether you stick to it or not. So right now, I'm going to do this for 152 Media because it's one of the vacuum bidders. When I say vacuum, it has it's getting a lot of impressions than the rest of the bidders, if you notice. And we're going to create ADX rule targeting this bidder, but instead of doing it in general, targeting all your ad units, we're going to separate the floors for every placement or ad unit. So to get started on DFP, we're going to generate a report for last 7 days, then filter, select key values, and this time it contains M2 underscore bidder equals 152 media. Then for your dimension, select key values. We need to show key values in order to select the metrics here. If you don't have key values in your dimension and you added this in your filter, then it's not going to show up. It will be grayed out here. So then another layer for the dimension is ad unit. And before I forget, we also need to filter the advertiser. So we do monetize more, click on apply. Now if you want to also separate by geos, you can add another filter and you can select country. And let's say you want to do US versus worldwide, you can also do that if you want to be that granular. But for the purpose of this example, we're going to use these filters right here. So it's going to include all geos and then by ad unit. So we want to see total impressions, total CPM, and then run the query. Now you have the average CPM for each of your individual ad units for the last 7 days. Let me try if I can also break it down by device category. Let's say we'll do desktop and tablet. And then we're going to add that in the dimension as well and run the report. Oops. So yeah, it encountered an error, and that's the reason why we can't run that. So let's try to refresh. Okay, so for since this is the only data we can get and we can't break it down, or DFP has a limitation, it cannot break down the report by device, we will use this for desktop tablet for the average CPM as our floor for the branded, and then 15% of which for the anonymous CPM. So let's start. Let's say here ATF1 for all these different ad units that have more or less the same average CPM for the last 7 days, you can go ahead and create just one rule targeting all of them and then the same floors. For the rest, we will have to separate them. So let's try to do 152 media first for ADF1. So we can say Wuxia desktop, and this one is 152 media underscore. Oh, sorry. I'm going to target the DFP ad unit. And include that. Then don't forget the key value, very important. Select M2 underscore bidder and 152 media. And of course the device category, this one's for desktop and tablet. So for the branded, for ATF1, we're going to do 31 cents. So this one is also Canadian dollars. The DFP account is also in Canadian dollars, so I don't need to convert that. But if they differ, then make sure you have to convert accordingly. If this is in USD and you're using a Canadian dollar at exchange account, then convert USD to Canadian dollars, and that's what you input here. Now we're going to do 15% of that, so 0.31 times 0.15, it's 0.05. So that's for the anonymous CPM. Then just click on save. Okay, so there you go. Then we're going to create another rule targeting these ad units right here, and same thing like what we did here, and you just target the relevant tags and of course branded anonymous. Now what you need to do, I would suggest you do this at the start of your shift. Reason for that is you can check the performance of this pricing rule after about 3 to 4 hours. As soon as you have the data and you are not satisfied with the numbers that you see. So for example, you run a query by pricing rule. What you can do here is select for the date range today, filter the site or your channel, whatever. So let's say for the site contains Wuxia World, and here you can say pricing rule and branding types. There you go. And then you can report the ad request coverage and stuff. Now, if the coverage percentage, you have to start with a goal in mind. Let's say, okay, I want all my rules to achieve at least 30% coverage. Then if coverage is very low for that pricing rule, you have to go back and edit the rule and try to adjust the numbers accordingly. So that's all you need to do. Keep an eye out for the new rules that you have deployed, so you don't go to bed or don't end your shift without even checking how that rule performed within your shift. All right, so you can always go back and reduce this if appropriate, or increase it if it's performing really well. So that's another thing. On another video, I'll discuss how to do this on mobile. This one's for desktop, tablet. And for mobile, since DFP cannot break it down by device for us, we're going to calculate the CPM floor based on what we have set for desktop.